gorgeous, welcome back and welcome to another video. Today I wanted to talk about Substack because I have been posting on Substack for almost a year and I do get people asking about it fairly often. So I thought I would demystify it a little bit for you and talk about my experience on Substack as well. Basically, the best way that I can describe Substack is that it's a monetizable blog, or it's the writer's version of Patreon, where you can support your favorite writers in exchange for exclusive content. However, not everything on Substack is paid. You can run a free Substack or you can run a hybrid. I personally run a hybrid. I have some free, some paid stuff, just so I have some writing that's accessible for people. And also I want to give people a taste of what's on my Substack before they subscribe to it, so that they know what they're getting. I suppose having a free Substack as well is good if you want to use it as a portfolio. So there's many benefits beyond the subscription to having a Substack. Personally, I think Substack is very beneficial as someone who spent years as an emerging writer submitting to literary journals, magazines, etc. And I found the whole process very discouraging, and I found it difficult to persevere. Not so much because of rejection, just because I hated the way everything worked. And I personally feel as though if you're an emerging writer, Substack is a great way to put your writing out there without the whole rigmarole of submitting to journals and doing all of that. Especially now, because there are a lot less literary journals around and a lot less literary journals that will pay you or will let you submit for free, because many literary journals now, you've got to be a member or you've got to subscribe or you have to pay to submit something for them to read. And it's, you know, the trope of the poor, impoverished writer exists. Why are we making it so expensive for people to write, you know? I trailed off a little bit there, but Substack is generally a platform where you can monetize your writing if you choose to. And you don't necessarily have to write on Substack either. It doesn't have to be creative writing if you do choose to write. I've seen recipe Substacks. I've seen business Substacks. But most Substacks that I see are article-based Substacks, people posting opinion pieces, people posting essays, non-fiction. I do occasionally come across a fiction-themed Substack and every now and then a memoir themed Substack, which is mostly mine. I mostly write memoir on my Substack with a few articles here and there and occasionally a personal essay. I did post some samples of my novella on my Substack as well, just so people could have an idea of what the writing was like before purchasing. But I haven't really posted any other fiction on there. I've gone back and I've looked at all of my old short stories and I don't like them at all, and I don't want them to see the light of day. For me, I specialize in memoir when I was going by my old name. Any award that I was nominated for or any success that I found was always through memoir. That is my bread and butter. My life has been, look, I've done a lot. I'm only 31, but I spent 10 years in the adult industry. I spent 10 years moving around. I spent a few years as a very traumatized, drunk teenager who got herself into a lot of messy situations. So I have a lot of stories to tell. I feel like I have a lot of interesting pieces to share. So that is what I put on Substack most of the time. I do, like I said, post other bits of nonfiction, but the majority of my Substack is memoir. So I am a little bit of an anomaly there, but yes, I feel as though most people use Substack for non-fiction, but there are many different types of Substack accounts, many different people posting a lot of different things. It's also a platform that has a lot less restrictions than many other social media platforms when it comes to nudity, discussing sex. So over the year that I have been on Substack, I have mostly been posting personal pieces. I kind of treat it like a literary diary where I reflect on different events in my life. And then I do, if something comes up in the cultural zeitgeist, if I do have the time to do so, I will write a piece and post it on Substack. I personally wish there were more people on Substack because I do find it difficult to find writers on there that I like. Ones whose work I enjoy reading, I often find I'll scroll through my feed and I don't really connect with a lot of things that are posted on there. I would like to see a lot more people on Substack, especially memoir writers, because as much as I love writing memoir, I love reading memoir as well. I do find though that being a memoir writer on Substack, it is a little bit hard to grow. I'm not famous, you know, I don't have a big social media following. I find it a little bit difficult to market myself, and there is a section of Substack called Notes, and it's kind of like the social media side. It's like, I guess, kind of like Tumblr back in, you know, 2010, where people post artsy stuff, random little diary entries, bits and pieces, and because it's treated like a dashboard, you can post things and put yourself out there and hopefully gain some traction on the main feed. But I have been finding it still a little bit difficult to grow using Substack itself and the notes feature. I do find when I post a note, I'm kind of just screaming out into the void, and then I have one or two people who will always like my notes every single time, and I appreciate them so much love. But yeah, I find I keep seeing the same stuff over and over on my feed. I keep seeing the same articles. I don't know what's happening with the algorithm. I'm getting a little bit frustrated because I want to see more things and I want to push my things out there a little bit more, and I don't know how to do so. Personally, marketing with Substack, I haven't found too much luck within the app itself. Granted, it is a lot better than Patreon. You can advertise yourself within the platform via notes and your dashboard. However, despite that, I find that most of my subscribers come from my own external sources, the majority of which come through Instagram and a little bit of YouTube, and I think I've had a few different hits from Substack itself, but I wish Substack does give me analytics, but there are some things that it's a little bit vague on, because I don't know if these people who have found me through Substack have found me organically through Substack, or if they saw that I was posting to Substack and then downloaded the app and then searched me on there. I think I'm just so blessed with YouTube analytics. It really goes into detail when it comes to showing how people find your channel. So I was a little bit disappointed when I went on Substack and I tried to figure out how people through Substack found me, but it just tells me the traffic sources. So that's a little bit disappointing, but it's fine. From my experience, I haven't found a lot of growth through Substack itself. It's through external advertising. So if you're thinking about starting up a Substack, I definitely would recommend having places where you can promote your Substack, because it's unlikely that you are going to gain a lot of traction just posting to Substack itself. You're going to need to advertise in other areas. Having said that, I have had some difficulty when it comes to being a memoir writer on Substack. I think I just need to start posting more articles and personal essays and things with, you know, clickbaity titles instead of memoir pieces. That's something that I'm working on. We're coming up to the uni holidays, so I'm hoping to write some more articles, and hopefully that will improve my subscriber count. One thing that does frustrate me a little bit though when it comes to Substack is the fact that there aren't multiple tier options. There's only one subscription option if you're doing a paid subscription, and that's it. Because there was one point where I was looking at having a base rate and then I was going to do like a VIP tier. I also found it a little bit frustrating at the start as well. The lowest price that you can have as your Substack is $5 USD. So you can't go any lower than that. When I first started Substack, I wanted to have it like $1, $2, because I didn't know what I was doing, and $5 was the lowest option, and I felt like that was way too much when I didn't really have a consistent schedule. I didn't really know what I was posting, because I kind of just put the paid option there because I didn't have a plan and I just wanted to like play around and see what happened. And then I think I got 2 subscribers within a week, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna need to do something now. And even though I wasn't prepared for the 2 subscribers, they really gave me the motivation I needed. I was like, okay, people are paying, I'm gonna start pumping out good content. I have recently raised my subscription price. Let's have a look at my statistics. So I have 294 subscribers in total, and I have 30 paid subscribers, which I'm super grateful for. And I feel as though I've consistently been in the 25 to 30 paid subscribers range. People have left, new people have subscribed, that's fine. But I'm working through my own marketing and getting better with that. But I feel as though round about the 30 mark consistently I'm pretty happy with that for someone who doesn't really have a clear idea of how they are promoting themselves. Super grateful for the people who have subscribed to support my writing and watch my writing grow. It makes me so happy, especially like knowing that I have the freedom to work like this and have so much independence as a writer posting to Substack. Incredible. Even though I'm still working out how to scale that, I'm still super grateful that I have paid subscribers and I have the opportunity to monetize my writing in the way that I do. One big drawback, I'm just gonna say it, there's no beating around the bush. A lot of the men on Substack, not all of them, there are some great men on Substack, some lovely, lovely men on Substack, but a lot of the men on Substack, the creepy comments, the creepy messages I get, I thought I was safe on this platform. I thought this was gonna be a good safe space where I didn't have to worry about men sexualizing me. I have unrealistic expectations. Men are always gonna sexualize me. A lot of people on Substack are a little bit full of themselves too, because they think that they're special or they're different because they have higher literary taste or they see the world in a different way. And there's a little bit of snobbery that it irks me to my core on Substack. And it's good to have a high literary taste. I personally am a literature snob, but it's never okay to shame other people for what they're reading or what they're doing. And yes, I am a literature snob, but I'm not going to tell someone that what they're reading sucks or that they're stupid for not liking the things that I like. I know that everyone has different tastes, and I just despise people on Substack who think they're like all high and mighty just because they read a certain kind of book. So there is a little bit of pretentiousness which really rubs me the wrong way, but you're gonna get that no matter what you do. And I guess that's the arts industry for you as well. So if I could summarize my main points about Substack, it's that I don't find the growth that easy on Substack itself. It's better to have an external audience that you can convert to Substack. I also find that a lot of the big writers on Substack, the people who have the most subscribers on Substack, a lot of them are notable people who had an audience before they moved to Substack. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you want to start on Substack, make sure you have an audience somewhere else so you can bring them over to Substack. It's going to be a little bit difficult to grow on Substack itself. Make sure you have a marketing strategy. Also, just have patience. Substack has a lot of benefits that are outside monetization. You can use it as a portfolio. You can use it as a way to connect with other people. You can just use it as a way to creatively express yourself. Even if you're not gaining anything from Substack financially, there are a whole heap of other benefits that you can use Substack for. So if you don't make a whole heap of money on Substack, you're putting your writing out there, you're doing your best, you're writing, you're practicing. It's better than nothing. It's better than your work just sitting on a hard drive on your computer or just being tucked in a drawer. I think the most important thing is to just keep going. Don't get wound up on the statistics. It's not over yet, so keep going. Even though I haven't made a whole heap of money on Substack, I'm still super grateful for the platform. I feel as though it's a great place for writers to be and for us to have more control over our work and to be able to put our writing out there. If you want to start Substack, go ahead, do it. Don't think about the money. Think about the creativity and the opportunities that it might be giving you. Of course, money is always going to be a plus, but there are so many other benefits to the platform itself. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And like always, I appreciate a like, comment, subscribe. My Substack will be down below. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and I hope you have a magical day.